Part 334. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu. Chapter 3331. Brother by Biao, you are too capable. Ordinary people certainly can't search so carefully like you. Gisha silently gave Bai Biao a thumbs up, and then sighed beside him. Hey, little things. It is my honor to be able to serve you. Boy Fang Fan, I'll give you the fragments of the God Stone. Bai Biao held his head high and held his chest high, looking very humble now. While talking, he was about to hand over the Divine Stone tablet to Fang Fan. Bai Biao, who is so generous and restrained, has a problem. The temperament revealed invisibly is too real. Oh! Only 3 fragments of the Divine Stone. Brother Bai Biao, did you forget something? The corner of Fang Fan's mouth raised slightly, and then his eyes focused on the storage ring in Bai Biao's hand. What? No. Not anymore. You, don't talk nonsense. Bai Biao's body trembled immediately, and then his eyeballs rolled around. He seemed a little cautious at the moment, but he was still pretending to be strong. But such persistence is doomed to be meaningless. It is nothing. Is it? Brother Bai Biao, are you sure? So many people are watching. Wouldn't it be embarrassing then? It hurts your image. Did you leave some fragments of the Divine Stone somewhere? Brother Bai Biao, you are an envoy of God. You can see everyone's respect for you. A single mistake will cause eternal hatred. It's not easy to establish a tall and mighty image, but if you want to collapse, it will take 3 or 2 minutes. Fang Fan curled his lips, and then said calmly. Frankly, but seemingly indifferent. In terms of posture, calm down, it's nothing. The corners of Bai Biao's mouth twitched, looking embarrassed at the moment. I'm having a hard time. I just want to earn some hard-earned money, and this is going to be squeezed. Fang Fan is getting better and better now. It seems impossible to fish in troubled waters under Fang Fan's hands. In front of so many people, it would be even more embarrassing if there was a comprehensive search. Wouldn't the hard-working image be ruined by then? Bai Biao sighed with emotion, and now he doesn't know what's wrong, but he actually wants to maintain his image. It doesn't feel like me anymore. Cough. Almost forgot. It seems that there are 2 fragments of the Divine Stone. I put it in my pocket before, but I just found out. Tisk, I didn't expect that there are a lot of goods in the belly of this poor and strange beast. From this point of view, we must continue to hunt and kill poor and strange beasts. I earned 60,000 high-grade star cores just after I appeared on the stage, which is profitable. Bai Biao blinked, and when he spoke, his face couldn't help showing a look of anticipation. The more you look at it, the more special feeling strikes you. It is indeed a way. It's just that we have encountered such a poor and strange beast in the past half a day. This shows that this poor and strange beast is not so easy to find. In other words, there are not many such beasts in the true God Cave. Fang Fan narrowed his eyes and fell into deep thought. Next, what should be done? Sometimes choice outweighs effort. The 6 God Stone fragments are too few. Fang Fan asked to get at least 100 pieces. Right now, more ways need to be found. It's not a problem to stay here all the time. It was too slow to search the surrounding land inch by inch as before. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu. Chapter 3332. A pensive look appeared on Fang Fan's face, and his facial expression involuntarily changed slightly. Junior Fang Fan is thinking about how to find more fragments of the sacred stone? Or do you want to find more traces of this poor and strange beast? Chu Sisi, the president of the Guangming Society, walked over with a swaying plump figure, and then smiled charmingly. While talking and laughing, it was inexplicably heart-shattering. This woman was always performing seductive tricks, she was simply the reincarnation of a vixen. Fang Fan curled his lips and complained secretly in his heart. But what she said was indeed what Fang Fan was thinking about at the moment. The situation now cannot afford to delay. Time is precious. Certainly. Looking at President Chu's intentions, it seems that there is already a solution. Fang Fan pondered for a while, and then asked quite unexpectedly. He. Well, I do have a way to find the traces of the god stone fragments. But, I need your help. Chu Ceci rolled her eyes, then smiled charmingly again. My help? What's the meaning? Fang Fan froze for a moment, a little dazed. Hold me. Chu Ceci blinked, and then said seriously. Fang Fan. Like this, okay. Your cousin Xiangfei is still standing by. Even if I am very charming, you should be a little more reserved, right? That's it? What can I do? I am very embarrassed. The corner of Fang Fan's mouth twitched subconsciously, and then he couldn't help pursing his lips, feeling quite speechless this time. Oh shit. Is it so direct and exciting now? I go. Why don't I have such good fortune? Bai Biao gritted his teeth at the side, then sighed. Heaven is unfair. Some people are still hesitant about the request of embracing a beauty, while some people just can't get it. This gap is simply not too big. Fang Fan couldn't help looking at concubine Xiang at this moment. The original intention was to let Xiangfei persuade Chu Ceci, don't go too far. How? Don't you have the guts? Are you so afraid of my cousin? Look at how cowardly you are. Chu Ceci rolled her eyes, then said with disdain. The corner of Fang Fan's mouth twitched, he was actually provoked. Can this be tolerated? Men, sometimes they just need to be motivated. After a wave of encouragement, the whole person became much clearer, and what he said and what he did naturally became smoother. Fang Fan strode out, then put his arm around Chu Ceci's delicate waist, and then lifted it up, making Chu Ceci and him get closer. Suddenly encountering a surprise attack, Chu Ceci's body tensed up, her breathing became rapid, and her complexion instantly turned crimson. On weekdays, this woman has been pretending to be an old driver, but she is actually very shy in nature. To put it bluntly, it is the type that is strong on the outside but capable on the inside. You, what are you doing? Chu Ceci gritted her teeth and sucked in the air subconsciously. At this moment, her whole body became extremely stiff. Oh. Didn't you say, let me hold you? Is there something wrong with my understanding? Fang Fan's eyes stared directly at Chu Ceci's, and the four looked at each other, as if there was an electric current passing through the air. Immediately, gusts of hot air were transmitted from Fang Fan's mouth to Chu Ceci's ears, causing the base of her ears to instantly turn red. In an instant, Chu Ceci's whole body became limp, and at this moment she could only rely on Fang Fan's arms to barely prevent her from falling. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3333. You, don't do this. I feel bad. Chu Ceci suddenly winked, and then her tone became erratic. Normal people will feel something is not normal when they hear it. The corner of Fang Fan's mouth twitched. This woman, deliberately tricked him. He obviously didn't do anything, why did he make such a big reaction? This is clearly purposeful. Fang Fan took a deep breath, his eyes could not help but glance around, his facial expression changed very realistically. This time, the thoughts gathered here, and the feelings gradually improved. Looking at it, it seems quite interesting. The gazes and expressions of the people around him when they looked at him changed accordingly. The complexity is hard to express in words. Especially Xiangfei, who is staring at him with a pair of very innocent eyes at the moment. But Fang Fan always felt that this gaze was a little panicky. "Tell me, what do you want to do? Don't waste time now, the main thing is to look for the God Stone fragments." Fang Fan went straight to the topic. "Don't worry. It's coming soon, it's coming out soon. Choo choo choo." Suddenly, a golden ant appeared in front of Fang Fan's eyes. This ant seemed to have come out of Chu Ceci's body just now. Think carefully. Fang Fan took a deep breath, and couldn't help but licked his lips. Looking at it, it is quite interesting. Fang Fan narrowed his eyes secretly, and his thoughts were slowly churning. Call. It's finally out. This gold-eating ant is very naughty. It only comes out when my body temperature rises. Well, that's why I want you to hold me. You don't think too much, do you? Chu Ceci fought back, then tilted her head and asked Fang Fan curiously. Fang Fan. What else can he say at this moment? It's not fun at all. It can even be said that it has no meaning at all. Can this gold-eating ant help find the fragments of the divine stone? Fang Fan asked again, with a complicated expression on his face. Certainly. This gold-eating ant has a strong sense of smell. As long as it smells the scent of the God Stone fragments, it will lead us to find other God Stone fragments. I paid a lot of money to bid for this at the auction. Don't worry, I won't cheat you. Brother Fang Fan. Chu Ceci bit the words Fang Fan Jr. very crisply, and the smile on her face remained the same as she spoke. Needless to say anything else, this gesture is very real and calm. All that said, what should be in place should be in place. After all, that's the case. Appropriate and real. For now, it seems that there is no good way, and it can only be treated as a living horse doctor. Choo choo choo. The gold-eating ant sniffed the fragments of the sacred stone, and then started jumping towards the distance. It's done. There must be fragments of the God Stone in front. Chu Ceci's eyes lit up, and then she nodded in agreement, and the smile on her face couldn't help but increase at this moment. Gradually, step out and follow the gold-eating ants. Walk. Fang Fan waved his hand, and immediately led the crowd to surge forward. At the beginning, everyone still had great hope, thinking that this gold-eating ant could lead them to success. But after a whole day passed, it became boring again. No harvest is the most tormenting. At a glance, there is no end in sight. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3334. Cousin, is this gold-eating ant sure feasible? Why do I feel like I'm getting further and further away? It's still gloomy. Concubine Xiang pondered for a while, then couldn't help but took a deep breath and said, her facial expression gradually became extremely complicated, what else can she say at this moment? My brain is buzzing imperceptibly. After all, it is still the case. The overall situation is more complicated. I don't know either. The gold-eating ants don't have any feedback, it just feels that there is an aura in front of it that is very similar to the fragments of the God Stone. Chu Ceci opened his mouth, and then sighed from the side. Forward. President Chu, you can't do this, you can't go all the way to the dark. We came to the True God Cave to hunt for treasure, but so far, we have gained nothing other than killing that poor murderer. Why? So confused. Zhuoqiuyao opened his mouth, and then sighed from the side. There were some criticisms in the crowd. I haven't gained anything for so long, and my heart is more or less uneasy. Boy Fang Fan, why don't we spread out? Let's go out together to look for fragments of the divine stone. If you find anything, just send a signal. This way we can quickly gather everyone together. What do you think? Bai Biao also made an opinion, and then said hastily. When you send a signal, it will definitely attract other practitioners to go to the past. If we can't get together in time, it's easy to be broken individually. Besides, if you really scurry around like a headless chicken, there will only be problems. Fang Fan murmured, then shook his head and said. It is not wise to separate. I'm sorry, it's all my fault, Chu Ceci bit her backstab, her face showing regret. She felt that it was her own fault that caused everyone to go astray and delayed everyone for so long. Who knew that this gold-eating ant was so unreliable? What does this have to do with you? Without you, we might be even more irritable at the moment, because we don't even have a direction. This is the first time for everyone to come to this True God Cave mansion, so everything is unfamiliar, and no one can guarantee that everything will go smoothly all the time. Since you have already embarked on this road, then grit your teeth and walk slowly. Fang Fan shrugged, then said calmly. From his point of view, it seems quite indifferent. Trek, full on again. The road ahead seems never to be finished. No one knows how big this True God Cave mansion is. The power of the True God is boundless. Another day later. Desert. The endless desert. I go. Is this a dead end? Bai Biao opened his mouth, and couldn't help sighing at this moment. Glancing forward, it seems that there is no hope in sight. The road ahead also seemed extremely slim at the moment. Next, how should we go? Everything is the most confused look. It's nothing, I can't understand anything, and my movements are completely stagnant. Next, it's really not easy to go. Everyone slumped to the side, feeling a little defeated. It's just that the gold-eating ant is still walking inside tirelessly. Fang Fan silently narrowed his eyes, and gradually, the eyes were filled with light. Under the desert. Don't be fooled. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3335. Fang Fan lowered his head, then took 2 steps forward, waved his hand, and the surrounding dust and sand slowly scattered aside, revealing some traces inside. This should be an underground palace. And their location should be at the entrance of the underground palace. At this moment, the gold-eating ant could not help but spin around the entrance of the underground palace. Xiaojin said that there are fragments of the divine stone in it. There was light in Chu Ceci's eyes, and her breathing became rapid as she spoke, and then she hurried forward several steps. Is that true? Our efforts were not in vain. Fortunately, I didn't leave halfway. Tut, tisk tisk, go down, to find treasure. I seem to be able to see the appearance of countless treasures gathered here. It's so exciting. I love treasure hunting. Bai Biao rubbed her hands together, and then she was the first to rush to the entrance, wanting to rush in directly. The moment the door of the local palace was pushed open. Whoosh! Whoosh whoosh! A silver-white light shot up into the sky, as if it was going to completely destroy this world. The silvery white rays of light gathered more and more together, with a very powerful symbolic effect. At this moment, those cultivators who were in the True God Cave were all stunned, and then they all looked here. Silver light descends from the sky, this is the rhythm of a rare treasure descending into the world. Go. Damn it, I haven't found anything for so long, I must take a share of this rare treasure. It's just, what the hell is this place? Speaking of it, it's still a real body cave. There's not even a chicken feather in it, not to mention the fragments of the God Stone, and you can't even find ordinary spirit grass. Hey, it's a big loss this time. Rush over there together. If there is a treasure, everyone will share it equally. From all directions, crowds are coming. Anyway, most of the cultivators are idle now. Ever since I entered this real god cave, I have started to trek again and again. Anyway, up to now, I haven't even seen the shadow of the fragment of the god stone. Right now, it's so humming lonely. Brother Fang Fan, what should we do now? This silver light will definitely attract other practitioners to come. Gui Sha glanced around, then frowned and said, "Walk. Go inside." Without the slightest hesitation, Fang Fan stepped directly into the depths of the underground palace. Since the gold-eating ants are waiting around and refuse to leave, it means that there must be something tricky in this underground palace. There is a high probability that there will be fragments of the god stone in it. Relatively speaking, it must be verified at this moment. After entering the underground palace, there is no darkness as imagined, and the interior is bright. There are burning lights on the surrounding walls. In front of everyone's eyes, there was a huge bronze door tightly closed, and the lights emitted a faint blue light. Coupled with this atmosphere, it was inexplicably scary. Boy Fang Fan, something is not quite right. Hiss. Cao. Why does it feel eerie? Damn, this is not a good place. Bai Biao shrank his neck, and then couldn't help but look around several times, feeling somewhat worried at this moment. The situation is too weird. Invisibly, Xiu's scalp tingled. What to do next? There is no charter. Welcome to the Disaster God's underground palace. Suddenly, an ethereal sound came. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3336. The cold voice came out, suddenly making the surrounding atmosphere weird. Who is speaking? Bai Biao couldn't help roaring, but there was no response at the moment, like a stone sinking into the sea, without a trace. At this moment, the surrounding atmosphere seems a little strange. Entering the Disaster God's underground palace, those who break through the level will be rewarded by the Supreme Disaster God. The Disaster God's underground palace is divided into 7 floors. Cross over, leave your name. Every time you break through a level, you need to form a team of hundreds of people. By passing the first level, you can get a fragment of the God Stone. By passing the second level, you can get 2 fragments of the Divine Stone. By passing the 9th level, you will receive the inheritance of the Supreme Disaster God. The ethereal sound sounded again, and everything seemed so real. Invisibly, it gives people a deep sense of oppression in their hearts. Always feel a little out of breath. Everything happens so fast. The Disaster God's underground palace. A 9-story underground palace. You can get rewards by breaking through the underground palace. This is a bit interesting. Fang Fan didn't have any fear at the moment, on the contrary, there was an expression of enthusiasm on his face. If all of this was true, it would be a means to snatch the fragments of the God Stone. For Fang Fan, He was indeed a good opportunity. If you can grasp this opportunity, it would be great. Fang Fan's eyeballs followed suit, thinking to himself, the sparkle in his eyes couldn't help but increased, the more he looked, the more interesting it became. Brother Fang Fan, I think this place is very strange, and the name of this Disaster God's underground palace sounds unlucky. Could it be that you want to trick us all into it and then kill us? There are many crises, or, it's better to be careful. Kisha scanned the surroundings several times with his eyes, and then said with a deep expression. From his point of view, it is better to be steady. Wealth and wealth are in danger. We have been wandering in this real God's cave for so long, and we finally found such a place. Did we just give up? If you miss this Disaster God's underground palace, then you don't know when you will find such an opportunity again. Danger is inevitable, but the opposite of necessity is opportunity. If you want to go, you can form a team with me. If you don't want to go, just wait around for our return. We have a lot of people here. According to the label of the disaster god's underground palace, a maximum of 10,000 people can enter at a time. Fang Fan pondered for a while, and then spoke frankly. I'm going. I want to be with my husband. Concubine Xiang gritted her teeth and said firmly. I also need to go. Xiao Liulai nodded quickly, her expression was very solemn. Don't even think about leaving me. Lu Jiyi didn't give in too much. Brother Fang Fan, I believe in you, so go in and have a go. Gisha patted his chest, and then said with a firm face. Cough, if you all want to go, then I will stay and make room for you. Hey, I've always been more humble. Bai Piao waved his hand, and immediately prepared to retreat. Others don't have to go, but Brother Bai Piao must go. After all, Brother Bai Piao used to be the envoy of the true God. With this status, maybe this disaster god will make you 3 points. Fang Fan looked at Bai Piao, and immediately pulled him over. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3337. His team still lacks a tank shield. If Bai Piao's super defense is not used, it will be too bad. As for Xiangfei Xiaolai Yulai and Lu Jiyi, you can stay. Well, your combat strength is still lacking. Fang Fan shrugged, and then said calmly. To my own woman, there is no need to be so euphemistic. That's the way it is. Needless to say, Lu Jiyi is still at the peak of the 4-star sanctuary, and there is still too much difference. Xiao Liulai is only at the beginning of the 5-star sanctuary. The higher the combat power of the original cultivation base, the more dominant the combat power will be after being suppressed to the same level. In other words, when both a saint and a 5-star early stage sanctuary practitioner are compressed into the 5-star initial sanctuary, the saint must be stronger. As for concubine Xiang, Fang Fan didn't want her to suffer any harm. Yo. This is the beginning of protection. Student Fang Fan is really sympathetic and cherishing Jade. Look, I didn't expect senior sister at all, senior sister is so sad. Chu Sisi looked like she was about to cry, and her tone was even more sour. Fang Fan basically understood the temperament of President Chu, so he didn't feel anything strange. Ready to go. In the end, Fang Fan brought 6 heroes, Bai Piao, Guishat, Zhou Qiuyao, Chu Sisi, and most of the legions under his command, making up 100 people. The disaster god's underground palace is quite interesting. When you are outside, pay attention to your own safety, and you must wait for me to return. If something happens, you must be careful. Fang Fan asked 10,000 times, for fear that there would be a slight mistake. Originally, Fang Fan also wanted to draw them all into the small world of Shushan Pavilion, but they were unwilling and insisted on waiting here. Fang Fan had no choice but to let them do what they wanted. Bronze door. Open. Breakthrough. Leave your name. Fang Fan. The disaster god's underground palace is officially open. Boom. Rumbling. There was a sound of explosions, and the entire underground palace was shaking violently. Probably because this place has been in disrepair for a long time, so the noise caused by the first opening was a bit loud. When the shock disappeared, the gate of the God of Calamity's underground palace was slowly opened, and everything looked the most real, inexplicably frightening. Go in. Fang Fan walked out first, and then everyone followed behind and stepped in directly. After they entered, the bronze gate of the disaster god's underground palace was closed again. At the same time, Fang Fan inexplicably felt dizzy. After slowly waking up, the picture in front of me has completely changed. Cao. This is so. What are they? A lot of ants. No, can this thing still be an ant? Everyone is as big as my fist. Bai Biao was sobbing, and couldn't help complaining. At this moment, his eyes were focused on the front, and while he was talking, his mind was boiling. At this moment, I can't express it in a few words, and deep in my heart, I am full of panic. Fist-sized purple-black ants, densely packed in front of them, gathered in a large area. It looks like there might be tens of thousands of them. At this moment, the visual impact is simply not too strong. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3338. After feeling it a little bit, I felt a sense of fear. This feeling is pure and clear. The role of thinking guidance is relatively real. The cultivation bases of these ants are almost all gathered between the 3-star early stage and the 4-star peak sanctuary realm. It seems that there are a lot of them, but the attack power of a single target is not strong. If you can stabilize your mentality, it's not that difficult to break through. Of course, because the number is too large, I am afraid that even 100 cultivators with 5-star initial stage sanctuary will lose a large number here. This is just the first floor of the Calamity God's underground palace. The first floor is so difficult, so when you reach the 9th floor, don't you have to face hell directly. Fang Fan secretly narrowed his eyes, and had a simple and clear understanding of the road ahead. Low Heavy Machine Artillery Corps, full-scale bombardment. Goth Sanctuary Sharpshooter Legion, make-up guns. Blood Shuro Legion, Abyss Demon King Legion, responsible for surrounding protection. Fang Fan waved his hand and immediately ordered. Up to this moment in the battle, the overall battle situation has basically been clarified. The matter has come to this point, it is useless to say more. Boom. Bang bang bang. After the Low Heavy Machine Artillery Corps opened fire, the tens of thousands of purple-black ants in front of them could only go to perish. Death is his only end. Of course, from time to time there will be 3 or 2 purple-black ants sticking out of the encirclement, and then killing them secretly. Ah! I am CAO. This ant dares to bite labor. Bai Biao grinned in pain, and soon, a gap of several centimeters appeared on the arm. Immediately afterwards, blood began to flow out. Fang Fan swung the Zhantian sword and beheaded the purple-black ant at will, and then his expression became very complicated. Immediately afterwards, Zhuoqiuyao and the others also looked at Bai Biao with complicated expressions. Suddenly being focused by so many people, Bai Biao shrank his neck subconsciously, suddenly feeling a little flustered in his heart. What the hell is going on? Just keep staring at him like this? Is that good? Goodong. Bai Biao took a deep breath, and the black lines on his forehead grew more and more. What do you want to do? I know I'm very attractive and good looking now, but why don't you men keep staring at me? Well, if President Chu likes to look at me, then there must be no problem. Bai Biao waved his hand, then took it for granted. No. Brother Bai Biao, you are green. The corner of Guisha's mouth twitched, and then sighed from the side. Green. Bai Biao opened his mouth, his face was confused at the moment. Why did he become more and more confused the more he listened? WTF? What's the matter if you don't understand at all? The brain is buzzing and buzzing invisibly. What the hell does this mean? What is green? Brother Gisha, you are talking nonsense. I don't even have a girlfriend, how could I be cheated? If you want to be green, it's because Fang Fan gets green. This kid has provoked so many women, it's not unusual for him to be green. Bai Biao waved his hand, and then dissed Fang Fan. No. Brother Bai Biao, yours is green. Look Bai Yuzulf. Your whole face is green, and your arms are also green. And your wound, the blood flowing from the wound is actually green. Hiss. Brother by Biao, are you the reincarnation of the green fur turtle? Gisha swallowed a mouthful of saliva, and then couldn't help but exclaimed from the side. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3339. The corner of Bai Biao's mouth twitched. Nothing. The more I listen, the more confused I become. But soon, his complexion changed drastically, and he found that his hands had turned dark green. This. How so? What's wrong with me? Am I going to be cold? Cao. Yes, those ants. Poison, these ants are highly poisonous. Bai Biao gritted his teeth, and the corners of his mouth twitched unnaturally. While talking at the moment, the serious expression on his face was beyond words. The whole person is in a state of anxiety and explosion. It's so humming difficult. This mentality explodes every minute. Call. I feel like I can't breathe. I'm going to be cold, I'm going to die. Uncomfortable, uncomfortable. Oh shit. Both labor and capital are not afraid of physical attacks. The key is that the toxin enters the body. Use a hammer. It's so magical. Bai Biao kept rolling his eyes, and while talking, his whole body became erratic. At this moment, my mentality is slowly being destroyed. So difficult. Several difficult. Boy Fang Fan. I'm terrified that I can't survive this. Hey, I'm going to be separated from you soon. Boy Fang Fan, I can't bear it. It's a pity, I can't help it if I can't bear it, this is fate. By the way, look back at my property, you can inherit half of it, and remember to bury the rest with me. Bai Biao muttered, she was in a good mood at the moment. This acting talent is still very strong. At least at this moment, Gisha and Zhuoqiu have been fooled. Aspirations unpaid. Brother Bai Biao, how could you go ahead? Brother Bai Biao, if you can't, then you can't leave us. Brother Bai Biao, I will never argue with you again, you can do whatever you say. At this moment, Gisha's eyes were filled with tears, his body trembled as he spoke, and his whole body was in a state of blissful excitement. Needless to say anything else for the time being, this time the mentality gathered here, and the thoughts burst in an instant. After all, that's how it feels. It's true, it's clear. Brother Bai Biao, you and I met each other at the end of the day, we fell in love at first sight, we hit it off at first sight, but you, why did you take this step? Brother Bai Biao, if you have any unfulfilled wishes, just say so, as long as I can help, I will definitely not refuse. Between you and me, don't be so polite. Although you and I are not blood brothers, the friendship between us has already surpassed the scope of blood brothers. Brother Bai Biao. Zhuoqiu was moved by love, there was a brother Bai Biao on the left, and brother Bai Biao on the right, this scene made me cry. Invisibly, it was as if Bai Biao was about to be buried richly, and then went to dinner. Bai Biao, the show star, seemed to like this atmosphere, and she shed a few tears. Stop the ink. Hurry up and use the serum card, get rid of the toxins on your body, and continue to break through. Otherwise, I'll leave you here. Fang Fan glared at Bai Biao, causing him to fail in an instant. WTF. Wave after wave, just thinking about doing things. In all aspects, why don't you take it easy? Do not engage in these things. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3340. Fang Fan Boy, you, what are you talking about? I, why can't I understand? Hey, Fang Fan boy, I know you have a problem with me. But, but that was all in the past. Look, I'm still dying now, you can't treat me like this. Fang Fan boy, come here, help me up. Boy Fang Fan, carry me on your back, and, walk a few more steps. My heart is poisoned, I can't save it. You all have to be well. Bai Biao looked bitter and profound, and the scene at this moment could no longer be expressed in words. At this moment, even Goisha and others are protecting Bai Biao, telling Fang Fan not to be so impulsive. Brother Fang Fan, even if there are any conflicts between you, but Bai Biao is like this after all, you should stop fussing with him. Chu Sisi sighed from the side, and then persuaded her. Fang Fan, do you believe in Bai Biao? This poor acting. Fang Fan exhaled a turbid breath, and his eyes couldn't help flickering with a different kind of brilliance. Since Bai Biao insists on doing something, Fang Fan thinks he should be fulfilled. I've heard that people who have been exposed to this toxin die in great pain. If it can be buried in the ground as soon as possible, the pain will be reduced. Otherwise, after being poisoned to death abruptly, the corpse will most likely become a zombie in 10,000 years. So for the sake of Brother Bai Biao, we should bury him earlier. The god of calamity's underground palace seems to have a good feng shui, so why not find a place to bury him here on the first floor? Fang Fan nodded, and then said seriously. In every way, it is so honest. In terms of feeling, it must gradually become more appropriate. The role of thinking guidance has gradually become stronger. After all, isn't that the case? Fang Fan, what do you want to do? You're avenging yourself. Are you trying to bury this envoy alive? Fang Fan boy, you are too poisonous. Everyone, don't listen to him. Bai Biao panicked immediately. What should I do if I can't continue acting on the road to a drama excellence? The scene at this moment is more or less weird. Chu Sisi on the side also sniffed out some clues. Something is wrong. Here, there is a problem. And it looks like a big problem. Looking at Bai Biao like this, it seems that he is not very worried about his being poisoned. In this way, many things become more appropriate. Pretend. Brother Bai Biao, don't be afraid, Junior Fang Fan won't harm you. We will bury you well together. We're not going to bury you alive, we just hope that you won't turn into a ghost after death, and your corpse won't turn into a zombie. Hey, isn't it good to go to the paradise of paradise earlier? Brother Bai Biao, so don't resist. Just listen to us, we promise to arrange it properly for you. While Chu Sisi was talking, the smiles on her face grew more and more. Bai Biao inexplicably felt that this smile was scary. I can't put it on anymore. I can only explode myself. If this continues, I will really be buried alive. Fang Fan is so shameless. Bai Biao gritted her teeth and complained secretly in her heart.